What's going on, guys? Noobs here. And welcome back, special guest Cthulhu.
Hello.
You are joining us on a very special day.
What's today? Is today somebody's birthday?
Yes, it is.
Whose birthday?
It is the literal birthday of the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. Hold it up for the people.
Oh, this guy.
Na 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 na. There it is. That's right, I actually get one on launch day, no less. It is all
Don't shake it.
mine. So very much unlike the NES Classic, these appear to actually exist.
Well, you had a pre-order on yours.
Yeah,
But I was able to walk in and just
true.
get one. And there was, how many people did you say were in line when we got there?
Dozens.
Well, I'd say less than 50.
Yeah.
There was definitely less than 50 people when we got there, but I was able to walk in and buy one, no problem.
And we didn't even line up way early.
No,
we got there after
minutes,
the store
opened.
5
or 10 minutes after they opened.
And they were still, lots of people lined up behind us, and they were still getting their machines as well. So much better supply this issue. So good work, Nintendo, on that.
You did something right.
Yay!
Listen to this.
So we're here to do a little review of the machine. We've been playing around with it.
Hold it up again.
Lovely. So where to begin is maybe the design.
It looks like a Super Nintendo, and of course this
looks
is
perfect.
This is the North American Super Nintendo.
Yep. The infamous and some say ugly.
We'll see. We'll have to see if it does the thing where the color.
Oh
changes.
yes, the authentic yellowing.
The yellowing. Now I noticed we didn't bring the other one over, and we
Yeah.
should have, because yours didn't yellow, right?
No, mine did.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Uh,
So we'll see if it yellows.
We'll
I
see.
hope not. I hope they fix that design flaw. But I want to talk about this.
yes.
That's
Feels so good.
It's so satisfying to slide that up and down.
The power button, it clicks on. You literally power it on with the power on.
Are you gonna do it?
Sure. there we
you
go. The reset button, it's springy, and that is what you use to change games and jump back into the menu. And you can also create save states that way in the games. Just simple USB and HDMI. And by the way, guys, the games look so crisp and
They
clean
do.
on there.
My one, going back to, before we get too far
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk about the
yeah.
games, the one thing I did say out of the box that I don't like about this design is you don't get the satisfaction of
No.
pressing the eject button. Sorry, I'm being really rough on your
No,
machine.
that's fine.
So, and I think with the eject button, because obviously you're not putting cartridges
Right.
in here, but what you could have done is you could have pressed the eject button, and then the front panel where you plug in your controllers would have popped open.
That's brilliant.
Nintendo, hire me.
Yeah, that's a good... that is my one concern of the design here is the little bay where that
yeah.
opens. It seems like pretty breakable.
Yeah, this it feels like a decent plastic, but
yeah.
that is
Still.
something I would be careful about.
Now, the controllers feel just right,
They're
don't
beautiful.
they?
I'm gonna put that down.
Yeah, absolutely. These are just they feel...
They feel like I remember.
Oh, perfect.
like-
Perfect. Just looking at them, they're... Maybe
it.
some of the the labels on the back are different, but otherwise, just looking at it, I couldn't tell the difference.
No.
So all the hardware is in perfect order here, I would say.
I agree, 100%. I love it.
So I guess let's talk about what the machine actually does then.
Oh, well, I'm under the impression that it plays games.
Yes, it certainly
So.
does. 21 of them to be precise.
That's a lot.
21 of the best Super Nintendo games ever made, and also, therefore, 21 of the best games ever made, period.
True.
Not all 21.
I was gonna sit here and maybe debate about the 21 best games,
Yeah.
but all of my favorite Super Nintendo games are on this machine.
So we'll call them out.
So, right now?
Yeah.
Oh, you just want to know what my favorites are?
Well, from the machine.
Link to the Past,
Absolutely.
Super Mario World,
Yep.
Yoshi's Island.
Yep. Top 3.
Those are. Oh, I forgot Final Fantasy 3. How
Final
could
Fantasy.
I? Final Fantasy 3 is also on there, which is I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I'll play the hell out of that
Yeah.
again.
You've also got Super Metroid and Earthbound, Mega Man X, Super Mario Kart, Turbo, Street Fighter 2. Some would prefer the new challengers, but Turbo's pretty good.
Turbo's good. Contra 3 is on
Yeah.
there. Donkey Kong Country.
Only the first Donkey Kong Country, though.
But that's okay.
Now,
You can't put too many Donkey
I know.
Kong Country games on there.
you can
Besides,
never have too many Donkey Kong Country games.
what time is it? Is it too early to drink?
Now, it's interesting. Unlike the NES Classic, they give you 2 controllers.
Yes,
Which is far
2.
superior. But there are a ton of multiplayer games on here.
There's not. No, there was
There's Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana. Final Fantasy 3 has
But that's like a technicality. The ones you really want to play.
Right.
Secret of Mana, Mario Kart, Street Fighter, maybe Contra.
Kirby's Dream Course.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's
Not a ton.
Super Mario
right?
World, though, also.
Yeah, that's true. But I just feel like it's just not a huge part of the system. A lot of this is the single-player games, especially the RPGs. Not unlike the Super Nintendo back in the day.
Yeah, I agree.
But in any case, it is great that they did throw both controllers in there and can throw down.
The cables this time are, I feel, maybe not extremely longer, but I feel like they are significantly longer than the NES Classic ones.
Yeah.
But I know they also sell they do sell the 6-foot extension cable.
Right, you can get the extension. I mean, I guess we could debate, like, would it have been better if they broke with, the throwback element and made it wireless? Would it be better if instead of having to reach for the reset button to jump back to the menu, they just give you a little home button on here or something?
No.
I mean, that's all. It's form versus function.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
And again, these systems are going to be, these are great for kids who've never played a Super Nintendo before, but they're not geared for those kids. Those kids,
That's
those
true.
gamers, they're geared at us.
We
grew up
for
doing
old
this.
Men like me. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I guess you're right. I know what they're doing. I know it's for the nostalgia factor.
Exactly. And that's why it's so satisfying to flip that power button on and off.
That's
like,
true.
there wasn't a doubt in my mind that I was going to be able to do that,
Yeah.
but to actually physically do it,
it feels
after,
good.
because now you can turn on all of your systems just by pressing a button on your controller, right? But, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. And, we flipped through a bunch of the games. I mean, they all... okay, not all, but most of them have aged beautifully. Fantastic. Which brings me to the next thing, the key game in this whole thing. The feature game, if you will.
Yes.
Once you play the first level of Star Fox, it unlocks Star Fox 2.
Which was never formally released.
No.
I feel like part of the demand for this system, too, was for Star Fox 2. Which is a really weird thing to think.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Star Fox fans, man.
They're weird. I mean, but to be perfectly honest, the Star Fox games are probably two of the weakest games on the machine.
You think so?
I
mean, we didn't play a lot of Star Fox 2.
No, that's true. And it is cool. I will play it.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll play it. It looks like one of those games that'll probably upset my motion sickness.
Yeah.
So.
I love kind of old school, super simple polygons and stuff, but just playing that kind of game without a joystick and with the low frame rate and everything, it is hard to go back to. But, it's an interesting novelty if nothing else, and if that game doesn't sustain you, all the other incredible games certainly will.
And the quality of the games on the Super Nintendo is far superior than, I feel, what came on the NES.
Absolutely.
Because the Super Nintendo, there are games on here, you could spend hours on. Final Fantasy 3, for example, is probably one of my favorite RPGs.
Yeah.
If not my
It's
undoubtedly my favorite Final Fantasy game.
Oh, yeah.
It is, I will put Final Fantasy 3 above everything else.
One of my all-time favorite games, for sure.
And that's a game that you could easily spend, 50 to 60 hours on.
40 at least to beat it, and you could get completionist and take a lot longer.
Exactly.
Sure.
Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past.
Greatest game of all time.
Honestly, my favorite Zelda game. Well... Actually, I would probably tie it with
Breath of the Wild.
I was gonna say Windfish, but the name of the game is Link's Awakening. Again, you've got a few really good long-for games on this machine that in Canada I feel justifies the $100 price point.
Absolutely,
100%.
Whereas on the NES, I don't think you really got the same level of justification with those games. Granted, there were some all-time classics, but I don't know how long you're gonna spend with any of them. Whereas this, you get these games, as I said, have aged beautifully. You could sit down and play these games fresh. That covers the games, but what else is going on in the system? There's some interesting menu options.
Yeah, there's some really cool menu options. So just like the NES Classic, it does have your screen filters. Mm-hmm. So you can do a throwback CRTC filter, which we didn't really notice.
It's very minor. It's just scan lines.
We did test it on Yoshi's Island. So
true.
And that game is beautiful. So then you've got your 4:3 scale.
Just your standard.
And your pixel perfect.
Right. And I should point out here, people might be inclined to use pixel perfect, but back in the day, these games were stretched onto your 4:3 TV anyways. So 4:3 is going to display the games the way you're used to anyways. To me, 4:3, the default is the ideal
I'm
setting.
going to use Pixel Perfect because that's who I am as a human being.
Well, I disagree with that.
But then, different from the NES Classic is you have the ability to change the frame
Yes.
that surrounds the game, which actually reminds me of like when you would do...
Well, it reminds me of Super Game Boy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
So a bunch of designs in there.
Yeah, I like the pink ones.
There you go. I chose the wood frame
did.
for our recording.
I wasn't allowed to pick.
But there's lots of choices you could play
So
around
that's
with
just
that.
that's just a minor cosmetic thing, but I thought it was a nice touch.
Yeah, for sure.
Other
And
than that, I don't think there are any other super special options.
no, but when you're in the game, you hit reset, you can create a save state.
Yes, same as the NES. Or,
And
yeah, the
you can
NES.
even use it. There's a little rewind function for your game.
But we didn't use that. We didn't really
No.
figure out what that did. It's there.
It's
We're
there.
gonna figure it out.
But again, both of those are cool, and they're going to help you get through some of these harder old school games. But you're constantly reaching for that reset button.
Yeah.
So that's where the hardware design starts to impact the gameplay a little bit.
I think it gets me like right here.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You think it makes it better?
I think it makes it more, realistic and true to what we would have done.
Save
as
states.
kids.
No, you know what I
Well-
would have done? I would have rage quit till I got bored enough to come back and try again.
Embarrassing. Yeah, so I think that
that
really
covers
covers what's going on with the system. Fantastic that Nintendo finally has,
Enough.
that Reggie is delivering on his promise that we have
Reggie.
stock. Bless.
Reggie, I didn't give you enough credit. You actually came through this time. Thank you. You know what? Credit where credit's due.
Exactly.
Good work, Reggie. You finally did your job.
Be nice to Reggie.
Be nice to Reggie. So, we should also mention they've also announced that the NES Classic will be coming back.
And next year, right? 2018.
Yeah, and-
although at this point, I think the NES Classic is a lost cause. I think if
Well-
you're gonna go out and buy one of these systems now, just go with the Super Nintendo.
Far better
Like,
library.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's plenty of money to be made there, so they're
Oh,
going to do
definitely.
it.
Like there's definitely. I agree.
And do you have any predictions you'd like to make for the future of this line?
So I would like to see a combination Game Boy Color
Yeah,
classic.
yeah.
I think that would be really cool. I know a lot of those games are available on your 3DS eShop,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it would be cool to just do something like that, especially if we start seeing these systems go out the door.
Yeah,
with
true.
Honestly, right now, I know it's super impractical. I think we'll see a Nintendo 64 one. I don't
You think so?
I don't think we'll see it as fast. I do not think we'll see it around this time next year.
Next year. So you think a couple of years?
I think it'll be probably a year and a half. So
Okay.
spring 2019. Just because
When's the Game Boy Classic coming out?
if the Game Boy Classic comes out, that would be your
It'd be
Christmas
winter
one.
2018.
Winter 2018, and then I would say maybe spring 2019
for N64.
for an N64 one. So that's what I think.
Yeah.
I definitely think a Game Boy Color combination, because I don't think if you do them separately that they'll work.
No, for sure. It's got to be both.
I would have to actually go back and look at the catalogs for both, because they put Pokemon on there. They just did Gold and Silver
Virtual Console.
on Virtual Console and 3DS. So who
They
knows?
they don't care what's
Who
on
knows?
Virtual
I mean,
Console.
it's
it's totally
true.
separate.
It's true.
I mean, these systems, Star Fox 2, never got that on Virtual Console. We're getting
No.
the proper Yoshi's Island, which we never got on Virtual Console. They are willing to go a little more all out with these machines than they had with Virtual
I wouldn't
Console.
even. They're not going all out. They're cashing in on our nostalgia.
Well, they should have been doing that on Virtual Console years ago. It drives me crazy. I love all the games. I mean, I'm going to play this thing to death, but ultimately, it's not as good as what I actually want, which is just switch Virtual Console.
Yeah, I agree.
And by the way, Nintendo tried to sneak this news out today, which they're shutting down the Wii shop, which has by far the best Virtual Console selection
the best
on
music.
there. And the best music. All right, let's wrap up here. Final verdict. Should people, if they're able to, get the Super Nintendo Classic?
Go get a Super Nintendo Classic. Like I said, this is a machine that you're going to be able to invest time
Yep.
in almost every single game.
Yep.
Again, $100 Canadian, 100% worth the price. I would rather buy a $100 Super Nintendo Classic than go buy whatever new hot release is coming out for my PS4 for $8.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, you're not going to buy a new game that's as good as some of the games on here.
100%.
These are some of the all-time greats. So, yeah, I absolutely recommend it as well. Again, it's not exactly what I want, but it's pretty close, and I'm pretty happy. And it's cool, right? It's just cool to hold, to display. So, let us know, guys, what you think about all things Super Nintendo Classic Edition. Did you guys manage to snag one? And if so, what do you think of it so far? As for you, Cthulhu, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What do you have to promote today?
Well, if you want more Cthulhu, I now host a weekly podcast called Galaxy.
Fantastic.
Link will be below in the description.
Absolutely.
I talk about everything. I like to say nerd shit TM. So I will cover everything from video games, anime. I'm a toy collector, so I talk about my toy collection and a few things that you may not, think about. So I just started that. It's been a month. I've been doing this for a month now.
Congratulations.
And you can maybe skip this week's upcoming episode if you watch this video, because it's going to be the exact same thing that we talked about here.
No, it's going to be way different and awesome, so you should totally listen. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.